is brought to you by the Lloyd Granville Agricultural Heritage Association's 11th Annual Harvest Show. That's actually starting up today, and it will run through Sunday. So head on down to Butner if you're someone that enjoys antique tractors, hit and miss engines, things of yesteryear. You'll have a fun time there at the Lloyd Granville Agricultural Heritage Association's 11th annual show. We'll also tell you about our other sponsors, Our Pride Foods, makers of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip, Sandaline Golf Cars, and T.G. Brooks Company. Last week we had a repeat of the show from the week before of when we were out at T.G. Brooks Company live, and special thanks to Bill and Roy and all the staff out there for making us feel at home when we were there a couple of weeks ago, but had a little change in the schedule last week. The reason we had to repeat the previous week's show, and our special guest today was to be our special guest last week, but luckily she was able to change her schedule around and be back today. So if you would at this time, we would like to make welcome Miss Jennifer Grable of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service, where she is the Family Consumer Science Agent for both Person and Granville counties. Welcome, Miss Jennifer. How are you?
I'm doing good. In fact, I was in Grable this morning, so I'm hitting both counties today.
All right. Well, I don't get to make my way down to Granville County as much now as I used to, but have a lot of near and dear friends down that way, and I think that's a beautiful part of the country. It sure is.
Well, like you said, they've got a lot of events always going on. You mentioned the Heritage show and stuff like that. So.
They really do, and it's some really nice weather. I know they're calling for a chance of rain over the weekend, in which we could use some rain. It's pretty dry, but you know the motto of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service is empowering people, providing solutions. And anyway, Jennifer kind of helps educate people and let people know about healthier ways to eat, and also she is really good about helping teach people how to shop for the better values and the more healthy foods in the grocery stores. And every now and again, she actually will host a grocery store tour, and that's pretty much what it is. She'll take people on a tour of a grocery store and show them how to compare items and how to save money and to get the most for your money. So it's really good to have someone like that, but that is just a small thing of what she does in her day-to-day activities with the Extension Service. But Jennifer, you're always trying to encourage people to have a more healthy style of a lifestyle, and whether it's eating better, getting exercise, little things add up to be big things. And you can start small and kind of work into it. And you were saying before we went on air that a lot of people sometimes, when they go on diets, they may go on a low carb diet and not eat any carbohydrates. And then some people may go on a diet to try not to eat any added sugar. Some people may try to cut back on their salt. And one interesting thing that Jennifer has told me over the time, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but when you talk about foods that have salt in them, I'm one that very, very seldom do I pick up the salt shaker. But the fact of the matter is, only about 7% of salt in foods is added by the salt shaker.
Yep.
So a lot of your processed foods and things, when have salt in them, that is added during the process. But Jennifer has ways to help you, learn how to prepare fresh items that will be more nutritious for you. And so, Jennifer, I'm gonna just be quiet a few minutes and let you share some very important information with us.
Okay. One of the things that our cooperative extension service does is we again just try to provide information to everyone. And one of the things we push to people is the My Plate. Everyone knows we all grew up with the food guide pyramid. It's changed to the My Pyramid, and now it's at the My Plate. So if you want information, you can go to choosemyplate.gov, and it has the information from the USDA about the 5 food groups. They haven't changed. We still have fruits and veggies and protein, which is typically your meats. Grains, which again, a lot of people are breads and different things like that, your pastas, cereals, and then your dairy products. So those are your 5 food groups, and you're supposed to get all 5. That's why there's 5 of them. You're not supposed to I'm not going to eat any more dairy unless you have, a dairy intolerance, you're lactose intolerant or something like that. And there are ways to still get those nutrients. But I know some people go on different diets, whether it's the low carb or the no carb sometimes, or they're like, I'm not going to eat any meat. And these diets are not necessarily the safest way to lose weight. They may be effective sometimes to lose weight, but they're not long term. They're not sustainable diets, because, for example, carbs are in so many things and so many good things. There are carbs that are in your fruits and veggies, and I hear some people who are in some of our diabetes programs that are like, well, I've just stopped eating fruit, or I've just stopped eating, veggies. I only eat half a cup or something a day. And that's very dangerous because your fruits and veggies, while they have carbs, have a lot of nutrients that you need. We need fiber and vitamin A and C and phosphorus and potassium and all those things we learned about in school. You need those for a reason. And cutting out the healthy ways is not the good things. It's how you prepare it that might not be the best thing. You can eat your broccoli, but don't put your cheese sauce on it. You can eat your okra, don't fry it. So, making sure that you're getting your fruits and vegetables are extremely important. In fact, when it comes to the carbs, you need about 45 to 60 carbs per meal per day. So, women typically need about 130 grams of carbohydrates a day. Men, need a little bit more. And again, that's just the minimum of how many carbs you need a day. So we try to educate people, and we work with the health department to do that. And in fact, they have a workshop coming up in October. I believe it's Tuesday, October 24th from 6 to 8. They have a local registered dietitian that's coming to teach people how to count carbs and how to do it safely and appropriately. So if you are pre-diabetic or you're diabetic and you're interested in learning about that, you can contact the health department at 597-2204. Extension 2277 to get information about that, as well as any of the programs that the health department offers, and we offer a lot of them at the same time with them. So, and then of course just call me and get some information.
Well, Jennifer, when you was talking about you can eat your broccoli, don't put the cheese sauce on it, and then you was talking about eating the okra, but don't fry it. I love broccoli pretty much any way that it is prepared. And it's one of the things to where I guess moderation is the biggest thing. And, it's kind of hard to, keep up with moderation, just memorizing things. And I've been told this, and it's nothing that I do, and so I necessarily don't practice what I preach. But one thing that if you're one that is trying to, lose some weight or manage your weight, one of the best ways to do it is to kind of keep a daily log of everything that you eat or drink, and you can kind of look back on it, because I think all of us, from time to time, at the end of the day, we look back and say, well, what all did I have to eat today? And you say, well, this morning I had a bowl of cereal, and then you say, well, and then for lunch I had a hamburger, and then you say for supper, I had some roasted chicken with vegetables. And then you say, well, that's not too bad. And then you think, well, oh, I forgot about that cookie
Yeah.
that I had this morning at about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I forgot about that pack of crackers I had this afternoon at 3. So it's easy to forget little things like that. We're all human and we're forgetful. But if you kind of keep a daily record of what you eat and, look back over it from time to time, and then when preparing, a lot of people, when they prepare foods, one of the first things they pick up is, the salt canister to add salt to it. And then, a lot of people, whenever they're preparing things, a lot of people, when they're preparing vegetables, they'll sometimes add sugar to it. And, if you go cold turkey, I've been told that's the best way. But if you make kind of slowly changes over the time to where it won't be such a shock to your taste buds, that if you make the transition slowly, while it won't seem as bad. And one thing that you could do is, like if you're using just regular mayonnaise, use light mayonnaise. Then you could maybe, after you get used to that, maybe use half and half, Greek yogurt and mayonnaise. It's a lot of little things like that you can do that in the end will add up to be a tremendous amount.
Yeah, it's the same way with physical activity. Adults are supposed to get 150 minutes a week. So 5 days, 30 minutes a day. Well, if you go from exercising 0 minutes, you're not going to jump up to 150. It's not, it's not sustainable. It's not realistic either. So start where you are. Start small, move more. That's what we always tell people is move more. So if you're moving none, move some. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, and then work your way up. So your diet is the same way. And it is hard to make some of these changes, and we want them to be lifestyle changes. We want them to be long term, and that's one thing with people who are doing some of these diets, even like I'm never going to eat red meat again or whatever. It's not realistic, and whatever weight you lose while on this diet, you're just going to put it back on when you start eating real food again. When you start going back to that. So unless this is something you can do forever, but we recommend do it healthy. It's not just about weight loss. That is the end goal, but that's not, or that's why most of us do it, but that's not the focus. We want you to be healthy, and skinny doesn't always mean healthy. If you're not getting the nutrients that you need, you're going to be deficient in different things, and that can lead to other issues. So we recommend, going and speaking with a registered dietitian, whether it's at this carb counting workshop the health department's doing, or a lot of health insurances cover you to be able to talk to a registered dietitian, or they give you one-on-one counseling. So contact your, health insurance and, ask them about speaking with a registered dietitian so you can get a plan that still gets you the nutrients you need while doing it in a safe manner.
And one other thing that Jennifer has been telling us over time, if you live by yourself, and a lot of times if it's just, a couple, that are married or living together, that they sometimes get this into their mind. Well, you can go out to eat a lot cheaper than you can preparing for either one or two people. And that sounds good, but you really can't do that. You can prepare your own meal, and just something else you could kind of do just put this to the test is whenever you prepare a meal, write down the cost of the different things that you are preparing. And then you come up with the total cost of that meal, and then divide that total cost against the amount of people that you're feeding. And in many cases, you will see how inexpensive a meal can be. And that's a lot of little things in there that you may not factor in. You may have a few seasonings and things at home that you may not figure into the cost. But really and truly, you can save a lot of money. And if you are someone that wants to necessarily try to save money and not necessarily wanting to, go out to eat all the time, eating and preparing your own meals, that will save you as much money as pretty much anything because, you know, and there again, I don't practice what I preach, but if you kind of keep a little record of your spending habits on food, not that you purchase at the grocery store, but when you go out to eat at restaurants and things like that, it can add up to be quite costly. Now, I'm not saying don't go out to eat. It's not at all that. But just, if you're used to eating pretty much every meal out, say, well, I think for the next month, I'm going to try to eat at least, 2 meals, at home in a week. And you may say, well, I'm going to try to at least eat 1 meal at home per week. And with people having busy lifestyles, eating on the road is sometimes a lot easier and more convenient. But when someone says that you can eat out cheaper than you can prepare yourself, that's not true. But when you figure in the convenience and all, maybe convenience versus doing the work yourself, it may very well be more affordable to you for wanting to do that. Wouldn't you say, Jennifer?
Well, some people, I hear a variety of different reasons of why they eat out. And yes, some people say it's quicker. I don't, all the time and effort. I'm like, I know I can spend 20 minutes going to a fast food, waiting in the line and then leaving and getting back home and all that kind of stuff, where it could have taken me 20 minutes to make that meal. So, but again, cost, so many of us are on a budget, and cost is more important than, time a lot of times. So we actually, our Lunch and Learn, we do Lunch and Learns, monthly workshops every month. Our Lunch and Learn this month of October is on stretching your food budget. So it's going to be Wednesday, October 18th from noon until 1. All of our Lunch and Learns are only $5 because we're going to feed you lunch, but we're also going to give you a lot of information. So a lot of this information about how to stretch your food budget, about the cost of what it really does cost to eat out versus eating at home. We'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff we do when we do the grocery store tour, looking at unit prices and figuring out that kind of stuff. But even if you go and you buy, my daughter loved the little packs of blueberry muffins. There's like 5 in a bag or something like that. Well, I can go get a pack for $1 to make my blueberry muffins, or I can spend $5 for a box, and I'm getting the same amount.
Right.
But making blueberry muffins is a matter of pouring the mix, pouring a little liquid, mixing it, pouring it into the little cups, and sticking in the oven. Is that really that hard? And there's a $4 difference there. That's worth $4 of my time to do that, as well as my daughters love it. They love helping me mix and store, so I'm trying to teach that to the next generation as well. We have a lot of people who don't like to cook. They do want to go out to eat, and unfortunately it's just going to get worse that their children are not going to know how to cook. But you did bring up something else I want to touch on about keeping that food log. We encourage that in a lot of the programs we teach. In fact, we're teaching a diabetes prevention program right now for people who are pre-diabetic. And something they have to do every week, we give them a food and physical activity tracker, because keeping track of that, just writing it down, it's easier if you write it down as you go, because like you said, at the end of the day, you're not going to remember that little Snickers you snuck here, or that pack of crackers, or even somebody's food that they brought for lunch that you tasted. So keeping track of that is important. And we have, food and activity trackers, or there are apps for that. MyFitnessPal, it's a website or an app that you can put on your phone, as well as Lose It is the one that I use. So those are some good resources too.
Well, I've been trying to cut back some, and I'm not necessarily per se on a diet. I've just been trying to watch, about eating certain foods, and, I'm really big about snacking, and you can really consume a lot of sugar and calories, doing just that.
Yeah.
And one thing that I have tried to do, and I never thought about it, but if you in fact want a snack, uh, it's okay to have a snack, but try to make that snack the best choice available. And one thing that I've tried to do is cut back on my sugar intake. And now I hadn't cut sugar out completely, but like just to give you the example, if it's a couple of different snacks available, I love peanuts. And you know, peanuts have very little sugar in them.
And it's a good protein source too.
That's right. And um, so if you think about when you go out to a restaurant and eat, or you may have some of these little sugar packs at home, one of those little small sugar packs is roughly about 4 grams. And so if you look on the nutrition guide of whatever snack it may be, you look and you see, you know, the grams of sugar that's in that particular snack. And, you know, if it's got 16 grams of sugar, that means it's like 4 packs of sugar in it. And so what I've tried to do is say, well, you know, let me look at this snack here. And that's one reason I enjoy peanuts, and they don't have a lot of sugar in it. And another thing, as far as sweet tea, I love sweet tea. I can't tell you the last time that I, you know, had a whole glass of sweet tea. You know, I try to drink more water, and it's whatever you're used to, Jennifer.
Yeah.
You know, once you get used to drinking water with every meal, that's what you want. But if you're used to drinking soft drinks or sweet tea, you know, that's what you want with your meal.
Yeah.
It just takes a little bit of time to get your taste buds adjusted.
And that's one of, to me, the easiest things you can do to cut out calories, to cut out sugar, is watching what you're drinking. Again, when we tell people to do their food and activity trackers, a lot of them forget to write down their beverages. And, you know, if you're having a plain black coffee, okay, that's fine. But, you know, water. But if you're having the sweet teas, or you're having, you know, a soft drink or something like that, it's got a lot of sugar in there. And just a 12-ounce can of, you know, soft drink is typically 120 to 150 calories, depending on which one it is. And it can be, you know, anywhere from like 64 grams of sugar. And if you don't quite understand, because we all don't understand grams, you know, it's, you know, unless you have a digital scale and you can actually weigh what grams are. So let me kind of put this in your mindset, a couple of things here. If you have something that's 64 grams, you divide that by 4, and it tells you how many teaspoons it is. So it's 16 teaspoons. So we all kind of understand what a teaspoon is. If you don't, you go to your kitchen, you get your little teaspoon out, you get your sugar out, and you dump 16 in a cup, and you see how much sugar you're drinking by drinking one soft drink. It's like about 16. And again, yours may vary depending on what yours is. So look at whatever your beverage is, and that's only a 12 ounce, okay? That's not counting the 20 ounce cups, the big super gulps, and that's not counting when you go get a refill, because we all go get a refill. So, and then there's another image I'd like to give you too. If you drink one soft drink can, just one, a 12 ounce can of soft drink a day for an entire year, every day for a year, you are consuming 15 pounds of sugar, okay? So when you go to the store and you buy a bag of sugar, that's 5 pounds. You have consumed 3 of them in the year by drinking one soft drink a day. So that's no cookies, no pies, no, that's not 2, 3 soft drinks a day. That's nothing else that has sugar in it. You know, that's just one soft drink a day, and you have consumed.
Well, Jennifer, I'm glad you explained it that way, because I was making reference to 4 grams of sugar being in a sugar packet. So that's about 1 teaspoon.
It's about 1 teaspoon.
Wow, that when you put it in to terms like that, that really makes you say, wow.
Yeah. So, and we actually have a program that we do called Rethink Your Drink, myself as well as the health department does it, where we have containers of here's the soft drink and here's how much sugar is in it. And, you know, it's not that big of a can to have like half of it is sugar. So.
And you know, if you're someone that loves soft drinks, and I do, maybe if you're drinking 2 soft drinks a day, maybe say, well, I'll drink, you know, one of the regular ones, and then maybe I'll you know, drink one diet. And I know a lot of people that drink diet sodas, and again, it's whatever you get used to. If you're used to drinking diet soft drinks, when you drink a regular soft drink, you're like, wow, I can't believe it's as sweet as it is.
And see, I'm going to push water instead of the diet.
Oh,
the
yes.
diet, just because, I mean, the diet has no calories in it, but a lot of these other drinks, they have artificial sweeteners, which sugar is sugar, especially if you're diabetic. Your body does, because I have people call and they want to know, is the Sweet and Low and the little other packs equal? Are they better for you than the regular sugar? Sugar is sugar. Your body doesn't understand the difference between fake and artificial. So we want you to reduce the amount of sugar. So that's drinking water, not, the ones that have artificial sugars in it. So just be careful. They try to trick you and make you think it's healthy because look, it has no calories, but there's still a lot of studies being done to figure out what those artificial sweeteners are doing to our body. Because, I'd rather put something natural in it than fake. And I'll give another example I gave our class yesterday. When you're looking at cereals, a lot of people, again, they'll look at the sugar content of their cereals. And we had an example yesterday, the Apple Jacks cereal, I think had about 12 grams of sugar in it, okay? And, it's kind of like your Fruit Loops, same kind of thing. Well, your Raisin Bran has 19 grams of sugar, but that does not mean your Apple Jacks are healthier than the Raisin Bran because Raisin Bran has raisins. It's fruit. So it has natural sugar in it. So that's one of the kind of things that I don't want you to be afraid of getting your Raisin Bran because it has a high amount of sugar. It's the good sugar. It's natural sugar that's not as harmful as the added sugar that we're constantly putting in. And there is a new nutrition label that's coming out, going to start rolling out more in 2018. They're updating the nutrition label that's on things just to make it a little bit bolder. It'll have the calories that'll jump out a little bit more at you. It'll have serving size that'll be a little bit bolder. And instead of just having sugars, below it, it's going to have added sugars. So you're going to know when you're looking at your product how much of that is natural sugar.
And how much
that's, because it has fruit possibly in this product, and how much of it is they're just dumping sugar in the container. So.
Well, Jennifer, and I agree, about, water is, the best choice. And, you can maybe start by saying, well, I'm going to try it for one meal a day, just having a glass of water. And, whether it's a diet soft drink or water, I enjoy either or. And sometimes what I'll do a lot of times, I may limit myself to one diet cola. And then, if I want something else to drink, I'll drink water.
It'll help you with the calories. If you're using Diet Cola, it helps you reduce the calories too. But one thing too is you can get water, and some people when you go to restaurants, they'll get the lemon with the water.
Right.
You can put other things. I mean, there are even just some water bottles that have little things in it where you can put fruit. They're called fruit infuser water bottles. You can put strawberries, cucumber, lemon, lime, whatever kind of things that you want in your water to flavor it a little bit so it doesn't just taste plain. But it's always funny to me when people are like, I can't drink 8 glasses of water, because that's what we're supposed to do is drink 8 glasses of water.
And 64 ounces a day.
Remember, 64 ounces. Remember, one glass is 8 ounces, which is about the size of your fist when you ball it up, okay? So I can't drink 8 of those, but if I tell you you need to drink 8 cups of coffee, that's no problem. That's 8 cups of sweet tea. No, that's no problem. But when it's 8 cups of water, oh no, that's way too much. So just thinking about it that way too is something to do. And just start. The bottles of water that are typically 16 ounces, you got to drink 4 of those. When you look at it, they're not that bad, just 4 of those. And you spread it out throughout the day. Don't drink them at your bedtime, right before
You'll
you
be
go to
up
bed.
all night.
You'll be up all night. And your body will become accustomed to, because everyone's like, I always have to go to the bathroom after I drink that much water. Your body's going to become accustomed to that having that much water intake. Just like you'll become accustomed to not having so much sugar in your diet, not having so much salt. That when you do eat those things, they're going to taste really salty or really sugary.
And, reducing your salt intake will sometimes help, curb you being thirsty. I guess it happens all. Some days we're more thirsty than others.
Yeah.
And, when you get up in the morning, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have a glass of water. And another way that people kind of help curb the appetite, a lot of people before they eat a meal, they like to drink a glass of water.
It helps to make you feel full.
That's right. And it doesn't matter if you're eating salad, prime rib, cantaloupe, watermelon, or drinking water, your stomach does not really know the difference as to what's being put in it to make you have that full
Yeah.
feeling.
And then we recommend just doing something simple like that before you start going to your holiday parties. You know, have some water before you go. Eat a little snack before you go, so you don't go to these parties and you're starving. Just like you're not supposed to go to the grocery store when you're hungry.
That's what I
It's
was
the
getting
same
ready to say.
kind of thing. But
Yeah.
and also it's been found that even just having your sugary drinks, they increase they kind of work in your brain, and they actually make you crave some of the salty, fatty, greasy foods. So it's kind of, that's why Coke and McDonald's or whoever, I'm not yelling at McDonald's, but any of them like work well together, is they're going to try to sell you on their products because it's going to make you want the other one. The sugar is going to make you want the salt, and it's going to make you want the fat, whether you're cooking at home or whether you're at a fast food restaurant, and all in moderation. People, you'll see me at McDonald's, you'll see me everywhere. I'm gonna eat out. I have young children; they want to treat every once in a while, but it's just a once in a week kind of thing. It's a moderation thing, and balance is all we, because I have a busy lifestyle, and we're out and about too, but we try to take a lot of snacks with us too.
Well, and something else, when you do sit down to the table to have your meal, it works better not to have, the food sitting on the table like family style. If you have your food, say sitting on the counter, and you serve your plate and you sit down at the table to eat, and once you eat what's on your plate, you say, well, I would like to have something else, but I really don't want to go across the room to get it. You'll find that, you can curb your appetite that way a little bit. And in many cases, the kitchen table is more or less a gathering to have a conversation. And when you're sitting around talking, and you've got a glass of sweet tea right there, and other foods, you know that you're doing it, but you really don't think about it. You're continuously drinking tea, and maybe eating more food. The best way to do it after you finish your meal, get up from the table and move to another part of the house to continue your conversation, or at least clean the table up, put all the food away, then sit back down at the table.
What I'll actually do with me and my girls and my family, we will I'll make their plates, make my plate, and I go ahead and put the food up in the fridge. It's up for the night. There's no going back kind of to get it. Now, if they want a little bit more veggies or something, because my girls eat like they're birds, that I'll give them a little bit more of the good stuff kind of thing. But I'm gonna have my plates, as well as portion size is a big problem with a lot of people. It's not even that they're eating unhealthy stuff; they're just eating too much of it. So one of the incentives in our diabetes program is we actually give them a portion plate. It's a little plastic plate, and it has it divided. This is how many veggies, how much fruit, that kind of stuff. And some of them found out, we challenged them last week to use this plastic plate 3 times for 3 different meals, to eat off of this plate. I actually want to see you eating off this little kitty paper plastic plate here, because that's how much food you're supposed to be getting. And some of them were just shocked at how much they were eating versus what they were supposed to be eating. Even when you go out to eat, I think one of them said she went to like Wendy's or somewhere and got a salad and put this salad into this plate, and it was just overflowing on the plate because it was still too big. And that was a side salad, it was still too big for the amount of food that she was supposed to be eating. And I think it was just kind of an eye-opener for them. And we've all seen that our plates have gotten so much huger. They're kind of like platters versus what we used to be eating on when we were younger. So just reducing the size of your bowls, the size of your plates, as well as using your measuring cups. When we were talking about cereal yesterday, showing people most serving sizes of cereals are about a cup, which is again about the size of your fist. So go get your measuring cup out next time and measure out what a cup of cereal is, and compare that to what you really are eating when you're eating cereal. And the calories on your cereal box are also with only a half a cup of skim milk. So again, are you measuring out how much milk you are using? No one's doing that. Right. You pour your cereal to a certain line on that bowl, and then you pour your milk to a certain line there. And then if you're not using skim, you're even getting more calories, more fat grams. And we have people who think they're eating, say, 120 to 150 calories of cereal, in the morning, maybe even 200, and they're getting 400 to 500 calories for breakfast, just because the amount of cereal and because the type of milk that they're eating.
And again, it's easier on you if you do the transition slow. And again, a lot of people say going cold turkey is better, but if you do the transition kind of slowly, and which I'm gonna say this for the third time, and I'll try not to say it anymore today. I don't practice what I preach, but I've been told that the proper way to eat is you take your fork or spoon or whatever it is you're eating with, and you take a bite of food, and you're supposed to lay the fork or utensil down, and you chew your food, and then after you swallow that food, you pick the fork up and you repeat. But now, when I eat, very seldom do I lay the fork down unless I need to lay it down to pick up something else. And so we all know ways to eat healthier, but just the fact of making the commitment to do it, that is the tough thing. Look, we need to get a word on for our sponsors. We're going to take a trip to 411 Helena Mariah Road out in Timberlake. You know what? I'm always amazed at the different things that they carry and have in stock at T.G. Brooks Company. Here it is, Brunswick stew season, heading into Brunswick stew season. If you're in need of a stew paddle, they've got them at T.G. Brooks Company. They don't sell the stew pots anymore, but if you're ever in need of a stew paddle and a lot of other helpful things, head to T.G. Brooks Company.
The leaves are falling. It's October. Fall season is in full swing with warmer days and cooler nights, and T.G. Brooks has your fall needs. Time to plant your turnip seed, your kale, mustard, collards, and broccoli. More importantly, it's time to sow the yard and do fall planting. There's no better time of the year to reseed and refeed your lawn. T.G. Brooks Company has plenty of advice and plenty of supplies. Enrich your yard with needs like lime, fertilizer, grass seed, including the new Top Choice Turf grass seed for greener and plusher lawns. Many people have been to T.G. Brooks Company and picked up or had delivered beautiful mulch, including some of the triple ground mulch, and they have mulch in several colors. It's also time to do some raking, so get your lawn rakes and your tools to do the work. With cooler weather, don't forget a dog kennel, shavings, Bartlett Animal Feeds, and Pride Dog Foods. And this time of the year is time to check over your stovepipe needs and fittings. Also, they have your replacement parts for Taylor wood stoves like blowers, anode rods, rust inhibitor chemicals, and pumps. Next month we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving, so keep in mind T.G. Brooks Company will have your Thanksgiving delicious, famous T.G. Brooks Company country ham. So plan now to put that on your shopping list for later on. From cast iron cookware to case pocket knives, from grocery needs to radio flyer red wagons, from plumbing supplies to electrical supplies, they have them. And plenty of advice, especially for your lawn and garden. Be sure to pick up some hand-cut ribeyes and take them home, pop them on the grill, and everybody's going to be excited. T.G. Brooks Company thanking you for your business and looking forward to serving you. Phone them at 364-2428.
All righty, here we are, back on the Gardeners Corner program. Our guest today is Miss Jennifer Grable. Jennifer, you made mention of the Lunch and Learn, and what's the date on that again?
Wednesday, October 18th, from noon until 1 at the county office.
And they would need to pay the $5 and pre-register. What, on the Thursday before?
Friday before. So Friday the 13th, that next Friday is when you have to register for that. So.
And it's only $5. Your lunch will be included, and a lot of free information will be passed along. Now, you said you had something that Michelle Farish, the 4-H agent, had wanted you to make mention of,
Yeah.
of a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Tell us more information.
Yeah, I'll hold up my little flyer here. Every year, National 4-H partners with the Tractor Supply Company, and we do a paper clover sale. So starting October 4th, so I think it started on Wednesday, through next Sunday, October 15th, you can go to Tractor Supply, and when you're checking out, they should ask you, but if not, tell them you want to buy a paper clover, as many as you want. And you write your name on them, and they'll put the paper clovers up there in their windows, and all the money will come back to 4-H. And this is to help send kids to 4-H camp. So we're very proud that our Roxborough Tractor Supply does a really good job, as well as the people in Roxborough really help support 4-H during this annual paper clover drive. So stop by Tractor Supply from starting earlier this week until October 15th, and show your support for 4-H. And help make a donation just there when you're checking out. They're only $1 for a paper clover.
And also maybe next week when Michelle Farish is going to be on the program with us, do you know if they're going to be doing the Christmas wreath fundraiser this year?
I'm not sure. I think she was kind of getting information about that. I know right now we're planning our ag field day with the 5th graders. We help promote agriculture, so I know that's in November. So she's got a couple of things on deck, but I know that she has a Person County 4-H Facebook page, so she just put out her newsletter, so you can go and see what's going on with 4-H over the next couple of months, as well as like her Facebook page, and I have a Person County FCS Facebook page as well, so you can see what's going on with our programs and get updates and get on our email list if you're interested in any things like that.
We're going to get a word on for the Lloyd Granville Agricultural Heritage Association. Their 11th annual show is going on today through Sunday, and you'd have a good time. And they have a nice show, and it gets a little bit bigger each year. And with the nice weather, it ought to be a really good turnout. So here's more information. The 11th Annual Harvest Show, sponsored by the Lloyd Granville Agricultural Heritage Association, will be held the first weekend in October. Come on to Butner, to the corner of 12th and G Streets, to the showgrounds. You'll have a fun time. If you're someone that enjoys antique tractors and equipment, they'll have lots of it on display. Hit and miss engines will be there. See the blacksmith at work. Vendors and food will be available. They'll have a children's play area. Daily admission is $5. For more information, log on to the website lgaha.com for updates. Show dates will be Friday, October the 6th, noon to 5, Saturday, October the 7th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, October the 8th, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. For more information, you can contact Al Govan by calling 919-528-1652. It's the 11th Annual Harvest Show, sponsored by Lloyd Granville Agricultural Heritage Association. Log on to www.lgaha.com for more information. All righty, here we are back on the Gardener's Corner program. Our guest today is Miss Jennifer Grable. She is the Family and Consumer Science Agent for Person and Granville counties. Jennifer, here it is, October. In November, Thanksgiving, December, Christmas. A lot of people are going to be cooking and preparing foods to have guests in their house, or cooking food and taking it to their friends or family's houses to be enjoyed. No matter the time of the year, but food safety is something that needs to be practiced. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, definitely. In fact, our office is always available to answer questions. If you have any food safety questions, we have a wonderful database, and a lot of specialists, food safety people who know a lot more than I do at NC State University. So anytime you have any questions, whether it's about canning or freezing, or as we get closer to the holidays, about how to prepare something, how to thaw your bird, or just whatever, a certain amount of things, you can always always give us a call at the Extension office, either in person or in Granville, and we can help answer your questions. But our Lunch and Learn in November will be November 8th, and that's going to be on Healthy Holidays. So we'll touch on food safety there, as well as we just always have information about food safety, and we'll be putting that on our Facebook page and on our Extension website. And, you know, every week I do a weekly newspaper article,
Right.
too, on Wednesdays at the Courier Times, and I believe it's on Thursdays in the Oxford Ledger. So,
Well, you know, food safety is something, and one thing, if you ever taste something and it doesn't taste the way that you think that it should, you know, don't eat it. You know, a lot of people believe in waste not, want not, but if it's something that you're unsure of, and what we always say, when in doubt, throw it out.
yeah. And when you talk about tasting it, you know, I want to remind people that, you know, if something tastes funny or it smells funny or whatever, that's not necessarily a food safety issue in the sense of, you know, it's going to make you sick or give you a foodborne illness. That's typically a spoilage issue, that it's just, you know, it's past date, and so it started to get rancid, so it just doesn't taste right, but it's not going to make you sick in the foodborne illness sense, because the things that we're concerned about with those illnesses, you can't see or smell or taste salmonella. You know, you can't see or taste or smell E. coli or botulism or any of those kinds of things. That's why they're very deadly, is a lot of people think it's safe because it smells okay, you know, because it tastes okay. That's more of a quality issue too. So, but again, you know, giving us a call and asking us any of these type of questions, we can help you just figure that out. And we can also explain, we have a lot of questions sometimes about the use by, sell by, and best by dates. You know, again, that's the manufacturer saying that it's not going to taste as good if you taste after it. It's not a food quality issue. Your canned goods that say Best Buy, you know, 2018, just because that month rolls around in March of 2018 doesn't mean you have to throw it out. It's just the nutritional content is going to break down, so it's not going to give you as many nutrients as it would typically, as well as, you know, your chips will get stale, your bread will get stale. It's not going to kill you unless it's got the mold on it.
That's right.
But it can taste stale and not have mold, or it can have mold and not taste stale. So there's a difference there.
All right, we need to get on a word for Sandling Golf Cars. We appreciate all of our sponsors here on the Gardener's Corner program. And after we get that word on from Sandling Golf Cars, we'll be back to wrap up the Gardener's Corner program. Are you in need of a trailer? Well, Sandling Golf Cars has a full line of trailers, and you can fulfill that need of a trailer from Sandling Golf Cars, 613 Lewis Street in Oxford. Whether you're in the need of a utility trailer to haul the lawnmower or a big piece of heavy-duty equipment, call on Sandling Golf Cars. They're open for business weekdays 8 until 5, Saturdays 9 until 1. Call toll-free 1-800-221-9267 or locally at 919-693-4626. Al, Hillary, Will, and Larry there to serve you for all of your trailer needs. They carry Calico stock trailers and Pace enclosed trailers. You can also get all the parts and service you need for your golf cars. Sandling Golf Cars, located 613 Lewis Street in Oxford. All righty, here we are back on the Gardener's Corner program. Jennifer, we've got just about 2 minutes left on today's program. Any parting remarks?
Yeah, I want to also just talk about an event that has nothing to do with food, believe it or not, even though we will have some snacks available. We have our annual Working Arts event where we have instructors come and teach a variety of different crafts. We've been doing it for, I don't know, like 40 years or so. So we've got a Chrismon's workshop, knitting, basket making, painting, and pine needle basket making, as well as jewelry making. And it's going to be November 1st and 2nd at the Extension office. And it's only $5 to register for the overall event, and then each instructor has a particular fee. But we have that information online at our Person County Extension website, Facebook page, all those, as well as we have them at the county office building. You can come and pick up a packet and register today.
And we appreciate Miss Jennifer coming out. And if you have a question for Jennifer at any given time, you can contact her at the Person County Cooperative Extension Service office by calling 336-599-1195 or the Granville County office at 919-603-1350. And Jennifer is really good about returning phone calls. So if you ever have a question about food safety or any of the programs and classes or the lunch and learn meetings, just contact Jennifer and she'll be glad to tell you any information that you may need. And we appreciate Jennifer and all the other extension agents for the work that they do and the knowledge that they have. They don't mind sharing it at all with anybody that may be in need of the information that they hold. So thanks goes out to our sponsors: Owl Pride Foods, makers of Owl Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip, Sandling Golf Carts, T.G. Brooks Company, and the Lloyd Granville Agricultural Heritage Association. That show again going on today through Sunday. So that's going to wrap it up. On behalf of myself, Rob Hall, and everyone else here at